Finished Venus and Adonis by Shakespeare from line 1050 to the end, which is 1194, I think. Here we have Venus and Adonis, and being opened through unwilling light upon the wide wound that the boar had drenched in his soft flank, whose wanted lily white with purple tears that his wound wept was drenched. No flower was nigh, no grass, herb, leaf, or weed, but stole his blood and seemed with him to bleed. This solemn sympathy poor Venus noteth, over one shoulder doth she hang her head, doubly she passions, frantically she doteth. She thinks he could not die, he is not dead. Her voice is stopped, her joints forget to bow. Her eyes are mad, but they have wept till now. Upon his hurt she looks steadfastly, that her sight dazzling makes the wound seem three, and then she reprehends her mangling eye, that makes more gashes where no breach should be. Her face seems twain, each several limb is doubled, for oft the eye mistakes the brain being troubled. My tongue cannot express my grief for one, and yet, quoth she, behold two dawns dead. My sighs are blown away, my salt tears gone. Mine eyes are turned to fire, my heart to lead. Heavy hearts lead melt at mine eyes red fire, so shall I die by drops of hot desire. Alas, poor world, what treasure hast thou lost? What face remains alive that's worth the viewing? Whose tongue is music now? What canst thou boast of things long since, or anything ensuing? The flowers are sweet, their colors fresh and trim, but true sweet beauty liveth dyed with him. Bonnet nor veil henceforth no creature wear, nor sun nor wind will ever strive to kiss you. Having no fair to lose, you need not fear. The sun doth scorn you, and the wind doth hiss you, but when Adonis liveth, sun and sharp air lurked like two thieves to rob him of his fare. And therefore would he put his bonnet on, under whose brim the gaudy sun would peep, the wind would blow it off, and being gone, played with his locks. Then would Adonis weep, and straight in pity of his tender years they both would strive, who first should dry his tears. To see his face the lion walked along behind some hedge, because he would not fear him, to recreate himself when he hath sung. The tiger would be tame and gently hear him. If he had spoke, the wolf would leave his prey, and never fright the silly lamb that day. When he beheld his shadow in the brook, the fishes spread on it their golden gills. When he was by, the birds such pleasure took, that some would sing, some other in their bills would bring him mulberries and ripe red cherries. He fed them with his sight, they him with berries. But this foul, grim, urchin-snouted boor, whose downward eye still looketh for a grave, never saw the beauteous livery that he wore, or witnessed the entertainment that he gave. If he did see his face, why then I know he thought to kiss him, and hath killed him so. 'Tis true, thus was Adonis slain. He ran upon the boar with his sharp spear, who did not whet his teeth at him again, but by a kiss thought to persuade him there, and nuzzling in his flank, the loving swine shield unaware the tusk in his soft groin. Had I been toothed like him, I must confess, with kissing him I should have killed him first. But he is dead, and never did he bless my youth with his, the more am I accursed. With this she falleth in the place she stood, and strains her face with his congealed blood. She looks upon his lips, and they are pale. She takes him by the hand, and that is cold. She whispers in his ears a heavy tale, as if they heard the woeful words she told. She lifts the coffer lids that close his eyes. Lo, where lo, 2 lamps burned out in darkness lies. 2 glasses, where herself beheld 1,000 times, and now no more reflect the virtue lost wherein they late excelled, and every beauty robbed of her effect. Wonder of time, quoth she, this is my spite, that thou being dead the day shall yet be light. Since thou art dead, lo, here I prophesy, sorrow on love hereafter shall attend, it shall be waited on with jealousy. Fine sweet beginning, but unsavory end, never settled equally, but high or low, that all love's pleasure shall not match his woe. It shall be fickle, false, and full of fraud, bud and be blasted in a breathing while, the bottom poisoned and the top overstrained. With sweets that shall the truest sight beguile, the strongest body shall be made most weak. Strike the wise dumb, and teach the fool to speak. It shall be sparing and too full of riot, teaching decrepit age to tread their measures. The staring ruffian shall be kept in quiet. Plunk down the rich, enrich the poor with treasures. It shall be raging mad, and the silly mild, make the young old, and old become a child. It shall suspect where is no cause of fear. It shall not fear where it should most distrust. It shall be merciful and too severe, and most deceiving when it seems more just. Perverse it shall be where it shows most toward, put fear to valor, courage to the coward. It should be cause of war and dire events, and set dissension, twist the son and sire, subject and servile to all discontents, as dry combustious matter is to fire. Sith in his pride death doth my love destroy, they that love best their love shall not enjoy. By this the boy that by his side lay killed was melted like a vapor from her sight, and in his blood that on the ground lay spilled a purple flower sprung up, checkered with white, resembling well his pale cheeks, and the blood which in round drops upon their whiteness stood. She bows her head, the new sprung flower to smell, comparing it to her Adonis's breath, and says within her bosom it shall dwell, since he himself is reft from her by death. She drops the stalk, and in the breach appears green dropping sap, which he compares to tears. Poor flower, quoth she, this was thy father's guise. Sweet issue of a more sweet-smelling sire, for every little grief to wet his eyes. To grow unto himself was his desire, and so 'tis thine. But no, it is as good to wither in my breast as in his blood. Here was thy father's bed, here in my breast. Thou art the next of blood, and 'tis thy right. Woe in this hollow cradle, take thy rest. My throbbing heart shall rock thee day and night. There shall not be 1 minute in an hour wherein I will not kiss my sweet love's flower. Thus weary of the world, the way she hies, and yokes her silver doves, by whose swift aid their mistress mounted through the empty skies, in her light chariot quickly is conveyed, holding their course to Paphos, where their queen means to immure herself and not be seen. We read from the project Gutenberg book, Finis and Adonis. What do you think?
Who was the lady who wrote it?
Who's the lady that wrote it? Well, what's the guess?
Amelia seems right.
Amelia who?
Possibility that she could write it.
Amelia.
Amelia.
Amelia. Shakespeare wrote it.
She was a great poet, but
it's attributed to Shakespeare.
I mean, it explains the poem so much.
Finis.
A woman, you know, to her atomic level, how she feels. Shakespeare could never have something like that. I think back then they didn't even dispute it if it was his or not, since they wouldn't publish a woman's work anyway. You remember the movie we saw with the woman who wrote both poets, husband and wife. You remember that?
Oh, the Brownings.
Browning. She wrote, what was the book? Doctor?
Don't know.
He created that monster. Did you? Frankenstein.
Oh, her.
You see, they wouldn't accept her writing the book, even at her time. But her husband was quite an offended her.
What's Emily's name? Amelia?
Amelia.
Amelia who?
Bassano.
Bassano. We don't give her husband's name. Lanyer.
Amelia.
Yeah, well, that's conjecture. Shakespeare wrote the poem.
Should be published, let's say, it that way. Through the publishers. He didn't have a choice but to put his name on. She wanted her poems to survive, you know. She wanted any artist would like his work to survive.
Yeah.
Even if it is under a different name. But after so many years, and now that women are having not equal but quite a number of rights, they should ask for that to be.
Yeah.
The names of those women to appear on their books. Actually, for all those women back then who expected to have written books, they should just put their names on books.
We read to the conclusion of Venus and Adonis by Shakespeare.